Then check this out.
Hello everybody, Maven here, and the Trespasser came out in May of 2022. It's been over 2 years since this thing came out, and I'm just now discovering how broken it is. It has an illegal TTK, more on that in a bit. Now I will say its base form and its hit reg at mid-range are its biggest hindrances, but once you get that unrepentant super burst chain going, you're unstoppable. I dare say it rivals the Cryosthesia 77K as a streaky sidearm. This thing is nasty when you build around it, which I did today. In the background gameplay you'll see some clips from Control and Trials, and you'll mainly see me on Void and Prismatic Hunter. Now, why am I back on Hunter, you might be wondering. After I just released some insane Prismatic Titan and Warlock PvP builds, I ranted and raved about those, how those are my new mains, and it's going to be a while before I come back to Hunter. So what brings me here? Well, as a longtime sidearm connoisseur, I'm going to tell you right now that the best subclasses in the entire game for sidearms is Void and Prismatic Hunter. And I'm not just saying that because Prismatic Hunter is broken on its own. Sidearms are a weapon type you want to be within 15 meters with to battle with optimally, but that's also potential shotgun territory. So what's the safest way to use a primary weapon at this distance? You either go on Void, so you can go invis and ambush people before they have a chance to react, or you go on Prismatic, and if somebody closes the gap on you with the shotgun, you dodge away, slow them, place a clone to block them, or you can just throw a smoke bomb or a swarm nade and force people to backpedal. So you get the idea. Today I made a Void build that is specifically designed to break the Trespasser and let you go on insane streaks. So let's break it down. Hope you enjoy. So let's take a look at the Trespasser. It's a 3-burst sidearm, which in my opinion is the worst sidearm archetype. Fight me. So reloading after a kill will proc Unrepentant, which will give you a 6-round burst, and its perk Be the Danger will make you no longer have to reload to proc Unrepentant if you already previously used it. And the Catalyst just gives you tunnel vision to make it easier to land your super burst. Now let me show you some damage from D2 Foundry. So here are our base damage numbers for a 3-burst sidearm. Now one would say 3-burst sidearms are broken because they have a 0.5 TTK against anyone with 3 or less resilience, but unfortunately hardly anyone runs low resilience these days. Now, if we proc that Unrepentant Super Burst, we go down to an optimal of 0.55 TTK against tier 10 resilience with 1.07 to the body. So we're kind of cooking, but we're not cooking hard enough. So we're going to add 3 copies of Arc Weapon Surge to the mix, and that's going to bring our optimal TTK down to an absolutely illegal 0.33 against tier 10 Resil, which we can all agree is broken. And I have a Trials clip that may or may not be playing in the background gameplay as we speak, and here you can see the glaring range fall-off weakness of this weapon, where you literally hit nothing but ghost bullets outside 20 meters. That's my biggest gripe with the Trespasser, but you can also see how this insane 0.33 TTK 1 burst clutches me this round. I was one shot, I was smoked and weakened, I didn't have surges, but luckily the dude was under 4 Resil, and he gets absolutely deleted in 0.3 before he can do anything. You just can't fight it. It's insane. There's no other way to put it. So anyways, the definitive Trespasser build I ultimately ended up on was Void Hunter with the Knucklehead radar. And the only reason I'm on Knucklehead radar is because I'm old and my eyes are giving out on me. So this exotic just helps me locate players on my screen because it highlights them. And the wall hacks it gives are extremely useful. But this exotic isn't absolutely required. You can also use something like the Stompies, Omnioculus, Graviton Forfeit, even Aeon Swift would be pretty good for 6v6. It really doesn't matter as long as you're on Void, because the only thing that matters is our mods and a certain fragment. So here's our mod setup. Our head, arms, and chest are pretty typical, targeting unflinching loader in-flight compensator, nothing unusual. But like I said before, we're utilizing triple arc surge on our boots to achieve that 0.33 TTK against tier 10 Resil, and we have time dilation on our class item to go along with that to extend the timer of our surge. And the way we are making that orb to proc those surges is with the Reaper mod on our class item, so our next kill after dodging will make an orb. And it just so happens that Void Hunter can take the best advantage of dodging before a gunfight because it makes you invisible so you can sneak up on people. So we snag that free kill, get the orb, and we start going crazy. But it doesn't stop there. What good is that orb if we're going to be half dead for the next gunfight? Well, that brings us to Echo of Starvation. When we pick up an orb of power, we're gonna get Devour, so we can get our health back when we pick up kills. It's a ridiculous chain of events, and all it takes is one simple dodge to go invis and proc Reaper. Then with one little baby orb, you get Devour in your surges and you start steamrolling the lobby. It's pretty disgusting. And that's what I did in the intro clip, which I might as well show again just so you can see what I mean. So we go invis, ambush someone, make an orb, then we start our unrepentant chain, scoop up the orb, and then we go on a spree, just violating people and committing crimes with our illegal TTK left and right. You just can't do anything. How do you fight this? I'm pretty sure I one-bursted a few people in this clip. The only way you lose is if someone closes the gap with a shotty, or someone uses heavy or a super. Obviously, you can get outranged, but we're obviously going to be mindful of where we go on the map and make sure that we close the gap. And in this clip, I forget, but I think I got like 14 kills in under a minute. Just absurd. There's no other weapon in the game that would allow me to do that. This is just broken. But anyways, let's continue with the build. So for the rest of our fragments, we got Persistence, Vigilance, and Dilation, typical stuff you would run on Void. And for my stats, I opted for Max Strength and Tier 9 Mobility so I can have lots of invis. And then I invested the rest into as much recovery as I could while maintaining that Tier 3 Intellect soft cap and that Tier 2 Discipline soft cap. And that's basically it for the entire build breakdown. Gameplay tips, your only goal is just to get a single Trespasser kill. That's the only thing you need to do to get it rolling. So be patient and always make sure you're invis before challenging. Crouch around and wait for your dodge if you have to. Just be patient. When you use this gun, you'll learn that getting that initial kill takes some work because like I said in the intro, this thing kind of sucks at its base form with no perks procced, but it's definitely a high risk, high reward weapon. You gotta be chill, sneaky, and really wait for an opening because getting that initial kill is kind of a challenge. But once you do, it goes from like an F or a D tier weapon to like an S plus tier weapon in an instant. It goes 0 to 100 real quick. And when I stomped lobbies with this thing, there were 3 separate times in the background gameplay actually, where someone in the game swapped over to Trespasser as well after they saw what I was doing with it. You might hear the audio of some of my allies or enemies shooting Trespasser as well. People just want a little taste of the power. And one last thing I needed to mention, because I know some people will comment about this, but some people will ask, what about Mask of Bacchus? Personally, I don't think the Mask of Bacchus is worth it. It slows your dodge cooldown drastically. You don't get to go invis, and it really doesn't achieve anything greater than you can't already do with Reaper and Surges. So that's my argument for that. So anyways, I'll leave a dim loadout link to this build down below in the description and also the pinned comment if you'd like to give it a try. And if you got any buddies who are Hunter mains, I'd appreciate if you share the video with them. Maybe this is something they might want to try out. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you drop a like and a comment because interacting with the video like that really helps out the algorithm. It's a way of telling YouTube that you enjoy the content, and so they help it get more exposure with the algorithm. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here. And with that, I will catch you in the next video. See you later.